Welcome to our novel, Sons of Power. Hit that like button and subscribe to our channel if you have not done so already.
A grand total of 25,450 soldiers, under the command of General Howard Hargreaves and Admiral Alexios Papadopoulos, were deployed in northern Kitonga as of October 9, 1994. Their mission was one of conquest and the ousting of the Combo regime. The fool was seen on television, calling on the West to send troops to defend him against colonialists. The United Nations demanded that we halted our military operation and prioritized dialogue, a request we considered an insult. Through our diplomatic channels, we made sure to tell them that we would see this regime face justice for its crimes. Of course, I am only rephrasing our response in a polite manner. It was way more colourful than that. Our military intervention put a halt to the nationwide oil production, which was around 2 million barrels a day. Oil prices soared, and Western multinationals in the country were of course not happy about the developments. Our informants in the West told us that leaders were discussing about a NATO intervention that was aimed at keeping us out of Kitonga, but reserves were expressed by many nations, namely the kingdoms of Greece, Iberia, and Great Britain, all ruled by distant relatives. They reminded their peers that they were talking about going to war against a nuclear power, an option that was inconceivable. Hence, talks stalled and we made preparations to act. Our troops launched a nationwide offensive on October 31st, moving towards the Waga and Kianga states. In a matter of 2 weeks, the eastern city of Bigwa was captured, and the discovery we made there was simply beyond imaginable. Militiamen, sponsored by the regime of President Themba of Kiwanda, erected camps around the city where they raped the populace for weeks. Some of their victims were children. These bastards, shameless cowards. We resolved to go after those who retreated in the forest towards Kiwanda. While our soldiers captured or killed many of them, some did manage to return to the neighbouring territory. Mother visited the victims, and our state provided them with adequate support to deal with the trauma. The images and videos of this tragic episode were shared among the members of the international community. At the sight of the horror and the testimony of the victims, Combo became more and more isolated. The camps were dismantled, and evidence of tents being supplied by a company owned by a French tycoon operating in the region surfaced. Indeed, Bertrand Latrotte Berger was the name behind Textilion SA, a company specialised in the manufacturing of fabric of all sorts based in France, with offices in the Kitonganese territories. The tents came straight out of his Mayonda plant and were supplied to the militiamen from Kiwanda. This detail brought scrutiny upon the French billionaire, who was also heavily invested in the Kitonganese oil market. Fearing being accused of sponsoring rape as a war crime, the West distanced itself from Combo, who had to rely on another ally, one whose nation and ours used to be on friendly terms. Indeed, Dictator Rodriguez of the Valan Republic deployed thousands of his men in Kitonga, engaging our air force to break the no-fly zone. We received reports of his troops landing in Mayonda on November 12, 1994. He was Combo's last hope to halt our offensive. He believed his intervention in the conflict would force us to negotiate, but he could not be more wrong. The idea of bombarding his military installations in the Valan Republic was brought before Lord Kalikini, but it was a rash move. Eventually, his air force was no match to ours, and our planes destroyed his. Planes carrying his troops were shot down when they did not comply with our orders, and he was left with only 5,000 of his troops deployed in Mayonda. By November 23rd, the Waga state was secured, and our men focused their offensive on Mayonda and the southeast. Despite encountering a stiff resistance, our superior military capabilities prevailed over the enemy, who lost tens of thousands of men due to our merciless firepower. Combo was losing men at a very fast rate, and already within his ranks, cracks started to form. Deserters, senior officers sharing information with us. The end of his regime was near, something Mother was looking forward to as commander of the imperial forces. The war transformed her. She wanted blood for the death of her relatives. She managed to rally the people against the regime, and thousands joined the ranks of her regiment, which she named the Kitongolese Revolutionary Forces, or KRF. Outnumbered, overpowered, even Combo was looking for a way out of the conflict, calling to negotiate in vain. We made it clear to him that negotiations expired when he assassinated Emperor Felix and his household. He was going to die a horrible death, a slow and painful one. This was Mother's promise to him, and she is not the kind to fail on her engagements.
In the next episode, the Aquila coalition moves on Mayanda, where a desperate Combo is expected to be captured or killed. However, the cunning politician has yet another trick up his sleeves to escape his fate. We appreciate the time you took to watch the entirety of our video and would be honored to count you among our new subscribers. Thus, if you have not done it yet, we invite you to hit the subscribe button here and click on the notification bell to be notified about our upcoming videos. We are hoping to count you among our viewers in the next episode. See you then. Cheers.